They towed my truck without warning, so I made their parking lot disappear. I came back from a weekend trip and found an empty spot where my old F-150 had been parked. On the curb was a bright yellow HOA citation, laminated and smug. Unauthorized vehicle removed per HOA community guidelines. Unauthorized, that word burned in my head. I don't even live in their gated community. My property sits just outside their line, a 2-acre patch with a gravel driveway that runs parallel to their clubhouse lot. But apparently, the sight of my rusty truck was too much for their delicate HOA sensibilities. So without a phone call, without a knock on my door, they had it towed. No warning, no courtesy. When I called the number on the notice, the towing yard told me the HOA president himself had signed the order and the fee to get it back. $1,200 cash only. I paid it, but my blood boiled the whole way home. See, that truck wasn't just metal and wheels. It was the last project my father and I worked on together before he passed. Every dent had a story. Every weld had his hands in it. Every patch of paint was part of our history. And these people had ripped it from me like it was junk cluttering up their view. That night, I walked past their clubhouse lot. Bright lamps cast perfect white light on shiny SUVs lined up in neat rows. And then I noticed something they had taken for granted for years. That lot, their precious overflow parking, sat on a corner of land that wasn't actually theirs. I remembered my grandfather telling me stories when I was younger. Decades back, the county had cut a deal with the HOA for temporary access so they could build that parking lot. But the deed itself, it was still in my family's name. My grandfather never sold it. He never signed it away. And suddenly, I knew exactly what I had to do. The very next morning, I pulled the deed from my filing cabinet, brushed the dust off, and marched straight into the county office. Within a week, I had filed paperwork to revoke their access. 30 days later, the county stamped it approved. Just like that, the land and the entire lot they had built on it was legally mine again. I wasted no time. On a Friday evening, after the last car had pulled out, I brought in a crew with fencing, posts, and warning signs. By dawn, a brand new chain-link barrier wrapped around the entire lot. Bright red letters shouted from every sign. Private property, no parking. Violators towed at owner's expense. By Saturday morning, chaos broke loose. Guests had nowhere to park for their tennis matches and brunches. Residents circled the block, forced to squeeze their luxury cars into side streets. The HOA board called me in a frenzy. "You can't do this. Fill a lip," the smug HOA president barked over the phone. "Oh, but I can," I said, waving the deed like a trophy. "And I will until I'm repaid every cent for the tow plus damages for harassment." They tried bluffing with lawyers. I reminded them they had trespassed. They had built on land that wasn't theirs. And now every day they stalled was only making their legal mess worse. By the end of the week, they caved. The HOA cut me a check for $10,000, nearly 10 times what they stole from me. They begged me to lease the lot back to them long term. I declined without hesitation. Instead, I turned it into my own private space, a gravel yard for my truck, my trailer. Now, every time the HOA board drives past, they get a perfect view of what their arrogance cost them.